All right, what are we saying? Back again on the YouTube videos. So today's workout's going to be intended for like mid to late stage rehab for like knee injuries, like starting to return to sport, adding some plyometrics back in. This is once we've built up, got rid of a lot of pain, once we've built up the range of motion to a good level. So today we're going to be going through some warm up, plyometrics, and then our main lift for the day is going to be ATG split squat. This workout's intended to be one within 3 workouts of a week, directly hitting the knee, and then 2 accessory days as well. Today's going to be the main lift is the ATG split squat. The other days are the step up and the squat. Obviously the split squat wants to be loaded heavy over time, but yeah, we'll get into it and we'll see how I would actually program someone that's in my coaching. Like I say, mid to late stage kind of rehab, a little bit more advanced. We've started to add some plyometrics in before, like maybe some calf jumps, lateral calf jumps. And here, obviously, these plyometrics can be regressed as well, but we'll get into all that. So yeah, in my garden right now, I actually don't have a sled. I'm probably gonna buy the ATG backwards treadmill for long-term investment because I'm actually moving as well, so I'm not gonna have this garden anymore. I could probably get a sled for this garden, but I'd prefer backwards treadmill probably. But if you don't have either of those, 2 things you need to do warming up for the day is band and knee extensions and then knee flossing as well. Knee flossing is like kind of crucial for all kinds of knee injuries. You can do it pretty much daily. The majority of my clients I now send floss bands and we work on that pretty much daily. It's great for rebuilding range of motion. If you're coming back from like an ACL injury, ACL surgery, and you're lacking the range of motion, if you use it on your squats and your ATG split squats, it's going to be so good to be able to rebuild that range of motion. And a test that I really like to use is we film ourselves with the ATG split squat without the floss bands on for the first set, and then we'll go with the floss bands on, film again, and then again take the floss bands off and do another set. And you'll see pretty much in the first session you do this that your range of motion will have increased a lot. So if we're doing that consistently over time, it's going to be an absolute game changer. But yeah, band and knee extensions are kind of like a replacement for the sled. They're great for getting blood flow to the quads. You really make sure you get kind of heavy band. This one's a little bit light. I like a bit of a heavier one. And we're really squeezing through that quad, and it's bypassing that kind of concentric because the band if I like stop squeezing my quad, it pulls me into it rather than me actually doing the eccentric portion of movement. So we're just doing the concentric. That's getting loads and loads of blood flow into the knee, into the joints. It's really hard to get blood flow into the deeper things like the tendons, the ligaments. So if you're having any issue, you really need to warm up a lot to start with, and this is the kind of best way to do it. Short range, concentric dominant or concentric only movements, band and knee extensions, sleds, that kind of thing. You can actually buy floss bands off Amazon for like 20 quid. I think they come in a pack of 2. I actually send out floss bands to all of my clients that sign up with me now, just so that they have it in case they need it. And to be honest, like I actually give flossing to most of the clients, especially the ones coming off ACL injuries, meniscus injuries, that kind of stuff, because the daily blood flow and that compression in like a deep squat is really, really going to help. So there's 2 ways you can do it. If you have 2 bands, you can do one below the knee and one above the knee. But to be honest, even when I have 2 bands, I like the one. But you put it really tight around your knee all the way, then you just clip it in with that. And then you can use it for pretty much anything actually. Like if you have any issues with step ups, you can use these. If you have any issues with sleds or just you want blood flow in the knee, put these on. But I really like them for the deep range of motion stuff. So you can grab some kind of assistance and just get deep as you can into the, if it's here, it's here. If it's here, amazing. Like this is where I am. But you want to be able to get as deep as you can into the range of motion and then just pulse through your quads. And it's going to send loads and loads of blood flow there. And because it's got that compression on, it's stopping the blood flow for now. After you take it off, it's going to all go there. So if you are struggling to get blood flow to your knee, to your ligaments, and to get healing, floss bands are one of the key things that I use. But you can do, I'm probably going to do like 30 to 50 squats. You can do any amount, whatever feels good. Again, like I say, you can, the more advanced version is come up on your toes, get your knees more far forward like I'm doing. But you can also just have like a slant board. The further your knees back are, the easier it's going to be. You can just pulse in this bottom position. If that's here, that's here, but wherever you can go without any pain. Slowly try and get deeper over time. But yeah, once you do that, preferably you'd have shorts on. So it doesn't slide up and down, but it's alright with joggers. But yeah, after you do that, it should get loads of blood flow to the area. From there, we go into some light tips and calves. Not going to absolutely pound them today, just get blood flow because we're going to be doing plyometrics, so they're taking a lot of force today. On the days where I don't do plyometrics, I hit them a lot harder, just because I've found that if I hit my tibs and calves really hard and they're fatigued, then they're already broken down, so there's not as much protection on the shins, and you get a little bit more shin splints. So it's good to obviously get blood flow in there and get it going, but probably on the days where you don't do plyometrics, that's where you hit your tibs and calves really hard. So yeah, you won't see the tibs because I'm going to actually do them over there, but I can show you the calves that I do. I've actually gone barefoot because I just love to get strong feet. Don't do this straight away with your training. You can slowly get into it, wear some Untiblo sneakers, wear some Vivo barefoots, and then eventually go barefoot. I've been doing this a long time, so I like when I go into my plyometrics, I like my feet to be strong as well as my knees. I've seen a lot of flack for tib training. It doesn't really make any sense not to train a muscle. Obviously, they're not going to solve all your issues, but if you're not training them, they are going to cause some issues. It's pretty stupid. It's like, okay, I train my triceps, but not my biceps. Well, that's what we're kind of saying. So you can get really, really strong in all your other lift, squats, all that kind of stuff, and still have strong tibs. I don't understand what the hate is there. But anyway, the benefit of the tibs that I like is that obviously it attaches from down your ankle and then goes up at the front of the shin and then attaches just by the knee. So it's like being able to get blood flow around the area of the knee without actually directly hitting it. So if you do have knee issues, it's allowing blood flow in and around the area, and then it allows you to get into it. It's like if you have a back issue, I'm not just going to start hitting my back straight away. I'm probably going to go into some trap-free raises where it's just above it, so you're getting blood flow around that area and then hitting it. On the calf raises, I like the HG system because it goes tibs, FHL calves, tibs, KOT calves. I like that. So if you do have any ankle issues, you kind of want to get used to this FHL calf position where you are getting that strength and stretch at the bottom, because that's going to be where the issues are going to come from. I've had a couple of ankle issues, some foot issues where the muscles hurt, and it's always this part where it's stretched down here. That's why I really like the FHL raises, because you're getting that full stretch at the bottom, and you can stop here, and you can stop here, you just keep going further and further until you can really get that long range calf strength. But if you do have issues getting into that, you can do short range calf to start with. Come to where you do a tib position and then just press through instead of pulling up. So that's going to be short range calf. Then you can try and get into a little bit more long range calf after. But yeah. Ben Patrick just sent me this mobility box. It's actually, I said you weren't going to be able to see my tib raises, but apparently I can use this. So actually you are now seeing it. But yeah, Ben Patrick sent me the mobility box. Absolutely great tool. It's like, if I'm training clients in real life, it has all the numbers of how high the inch is. So right now it's a 6-inch step up. So if I'm getting someone to do a Patrick step up or Poliquin step up, I know this is exactly 6 inches, and then I can regress it just by doing that to make it easier. It's an absolutely great tool. And then split squats as well. Like the best way to get into an exercise, to warm up for a certain exercise, is to just regress that same exercise to a lower level. So for example, if you're warming up for a flat ground HG split squat, you go from a higher split squat to a lower split squat, and then a flat ground, and then weighted. That's the best warm up, not anything else. Obviously we can, the step up's going to help us get into the squat, the split squat's going to help us get into the squat as well. But it's also just load management. there's less pressure on your knee in the split squat because it's going less over your toe, like it's only going over your toe in this bottom portion. Whereas the squat, you're already here, knees over toes. So by doing this, it's actually just load management before we go into the squat. So it's a great warm up. But yeah, so what I've done is band knee extensions, flossing, and then just a couple sets of tibs and calves. So tibs, for FHL calf, tibs, KOT calf. The KOT calf is great because it also acts as an isometric for the knee. So with people with knee issues, it's really great. Over time, I do like a seated calf machine or a standing calf machine just because you can load the machines up real heavy. Rather than here, you'd have to like work on your grip and you have to balance as well and your knees getting into it. So if you're just directly targeting like the Achilles or soleus and trying to get that really strong, machines are probably your best bet to go for that. But yeah, the two pliers that we're going to be doing today are my side jumps and what am I doing? Power skips. So you can regress these both by just the intensity you go at. So for the first time trying it with the side jumps, you just go 50%, just 50%. And then you're like, okay, next week I can go 60. But if you go into it full pace, first time, really trying to get up, little ground contact time, then that could cause issues straight away. So it's slowly increasing it the same way as you wouldn't just go into a 100 kilo squat. You go into body weight and then 10, 20, 30, 40. So it's the same as that. But just you have to be conscious of how it feels rather than actually seeing the number of the lift or how much tension's on the knee. But yeah, I love my side jumps for being able to slowly increase that jumping ability. My side jumps and depth drops are probably my favourite two for actually getting jumping back into the routine. But power skips are great as well. I'm going to do those today. But yeah, here we go. I'm going to be doing 3 sets, 10 side jumps, and then straight into the power skips for about 10, 20 yards, probably 20 yards. Have a little bit of break, go again, and just do 3 sets of that. And again, on these power skips, the way to regress it is just by pushing off a little light to start with, and eventually you can really push those off, get those arm swings, and do it a full pelt. Something I also really recommend is, although you don't want to go like full pelt back into your sport, you also don't want to give it up completely. There's some cases where that's probably needed. If it causes you pain to just do keepy uppies, then yeah. But if you can do keepy uppies, see if you can progress those as well. Okay, look, I can do 10 keepy uppies. Amazing, my knee feels good. Next week, 20. And then we do a tiny bit of dribbling. Then we do this, then we do that. It's like progressively overload. If you don't get the exact stimulus from your sport, how are you going to make it back to your sport? The strength training is amazing. It's going to build stronger stuff, stronger tendons, stronger connective tissue, stronger muscles. But if I was to get the strongest squat in the world, and then just go straight into sprinting 100%, then I'm probably still going to get injured, depending on the person, depending on the genetics. But you need to give it that exact stimulus just at a lower level. So it's ATG in combination with back to your sport. So, like I say, just some light touches, just some dribbling, not too much, just see how it feels, and then increase over time. Even now, like I'm performance-based now, like I'm just trying to get really fast, really athletic. I'm still, like my main thing is the strong knees, just to show everyone like you can keep getting stronger, you can keep getting stronger. But in between sets, I'll just play with the ball, see how it feels, get used to touching it, see how my knee can move around. Because like a split squat is a split squat and it's amazing, it's going to build connective tissue. But can a split squat train me for all of these quick turns? Like only the exact stimulus. You can build strong connective tissue, but the exact stimulus is what we need. But again, don't rush into it, slowly build it up. Okay, so those 3, I've just done the side jumps and power skips, 3 sets of those. The main lift for big lift is going to be the split squat for the front, and then for the back is going to be a Nordic curl. Then we'll probably do some hip flexor stuff, so maybe some L sits. But yeah, so like even for me that can do 50, 60 kilo ATG split squat. So about my body weight, I'm about 60 kilos. I still warm up at a low level, make sure my joints are all grooving before I get back into it. So I don't just jump into however much weight on the split squat. My goal right now for the split squat is ankle, like you can do different variations of it depending on your goals. Mine right now is to have the ankle down. So I'm increasing my ankle mobility and I'm also getting more of a stretch on that back hip flexor. So it's gonna look more like this, really trying to flex those tibs, get that ankle mobility, rather than usually if I'm focusing on just my knee and want me emphasis more now, I'll lift the front heel, more VMO activation and more knee over toe, so more actual stress on the knees. So right now I'm going for a bit of a balanced approach rather than a just all on the knee, which I had been doing for a long time. But now it's like, we don't really want to build strong knees on weak ankles though, because your ankles are then going to get hurt. So making sure we do have adequate range in the ankle is just going to help your knee anyway in general, because that knees over toes position in sport, if you have more ankle mobility, you're going to easily be able to get into that. So yeah, I'm going to do ramping sets of the ATG split squat. I prefer ramping sets rather than dense or anything like that. Personally, that's personal preference. Dense is really good, but for my goals and how I like to train, I like ramping sets. So I'm probably going to do about 5 or 6 sets, starting from body weight, seeing how it feels, going slow on the way down, pushing that knee over toe first, making sure I'm squeezing that back glute and getting my heel out so that that stretch on the hip flexors is getting locked in. So flexing the tibs, squeezing the glute. If you're doing the ATG split squat right, it's going to feel hard at whatever level you do it because you're tensing so many things. You're thinking about your quad, your VMO, you're thinking about your tibs being flexed up with your ankle, you're thinking about squeezing that back glute, keeping that torso vertical. There's so many things that you have to think about. It's such like a compound, intense exercise. So if you are doing it properly, then it's going to be really hard. It's not an easy exercise. So yeah, I'm going to ramp up in sets of 5, see what we can get to today. This is an amazing setup, by the way. I'm super blessed to be able to have this. Like, to be able to train barefoot in the grass, in nature. Obviously that chainsaw is a little annoying, but it's what it is. But it's just a simple setup. Like, it's squat rack bar. I am going to be using the Freak Athlete Nordic bench today, but I used to just use my bench and tie a belt around my feet. So there's so much you can do, get really advanced without that much equipment. Obviously equipment makes it easier, and I'm blessed to be able to be sent these by both Freak Athlete and Ben Patrick. Amazing piece of equipment, but if you don't have equipment, you can still do amazing work. Another reason why you don't want to go barefoot straight away is because on the ATG split squat, you're driving that big toe into the ground. So if you have no protection there, it's going to be real intense on that back foot and you might develop plantar fasciitis or something. So shoes to start with is great. Slowly build the strength. And if you do develop anything like that, a way to get it stronger is to sit down in a squat like this. The easier is going forward, harder going back, but you're just pushing those big toes into the ground. Now I can sit here with bare foot for minutes at a time and be all right. I used to literally sit here for 10 seconds and be like, oh. So it's just the entire concept of fixing any injury is just slow progressive load over time, slow progressive increase of tension over time, and your actual capacity to recover from that. So giving yourself a little bit of stimulus, seeing if it feels good. Next time, see if you can give a little bit more. If it's too much, back off. If it's all right, again, progress. But yeah, just touching that hot pan of pain. Hot pan being there, you want to be about here and you can touch it for a second, but you want to really work around here and keep pushing that back and following it up. But you want to train intense just at the level that you can train intense without any pain. Another reason why the ATG split squat's so great for knee injuries is because after knee surgeries, knee injuries, personally my leg was the left leg, just absolutely shrunk. Took me a long time to be able to get it back. Squats will, if you just done squats forever, it would eventually balance, but it's not the best route. You can do the squats as well as doing step up single leg, add an extra set in, HCG split squat single leg, add an extra set in. That's what really helped me. So I just started on my left leg and then finished on my left leg as well. So done one less set on my right leg. And eventually, over time, it'll kind of catch up and you can start doing the same on both. This is probably going to be top set, 50 kg, we'll see what we can do. Maybe go a bit more. Obviously, you don't have to hit these kind of numbers straight off knee injury. These are more elite numbers and I've been doing it a long time. I think I've been doing split squats 3.5 years now. So I was able to build up to this number over time. The one you want to load more is the squat. Obviously you can load this to extreme standard, but the form is the most important part on this. So it's a really, like I said, it's a really intense compound exercise. So you stretch out your back hip flexor, you got to keep that torso vertical, keep all the pressure on your quads, on your left leg, make sure you get the range of motion. So there's a lot to think about. Rather than a squat, you just go up and down. Obviously there's a lot of pressure on your knees, a lot of pressure on everything, it's a lot of muscles, but you have to constantly think about doing the HCG split squat. So chasing the perfect form, chase the perfect form and everything, don't get me wrong, but on this it's really important. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. See what we're saying. Let's get it rolling. Oh, that was tough. You see how I'm really focused on the form and every single rep though. Like that takes out of you. But yeah, top set, 50 kilos. I'll do the other set on my other leg, but then we're gonna go on to Nordics. I'll show you those. Okay, boom, hamstrings. Here we go. Nordic curls, I'm probably gonna do L-sits as well. I like the Gar hammer raises better at the moment because I want to hit more of my lower abs. The L-sits, because your legs are more straight, are hitting more of the rectus femoris, which is good as well. But yeah, I appreciate freak athletes saying that it's Nordic bench. Life's insane right now. But yeah, Nordics have never felt better. I always use just a normal gym bench and then attach my feet to it. So much easier to be able to do these. Like, and I'm not trying to brag, but my Nordics are pretty good. Like, I can go cold into a full one and not have any issues. Like, that's my warm up now, which is insane. Like 2 years ago, I was struggling going, oh, and something about Nordics, someone messaged me today, like, all of the exercises that we promote need to be regressed to your level. Please do not ego lift. The Nordics especially, super intense on the back of the knee. So we need to start just going a little bit, hips very bent, and then just go to a level that we can. Don't try and go straight into like doing full Nordics or full eccentrics or whatever. Really start at whatever level you are at, because these exercises are an investment over time, not a short-term immediate fix that we need to get the best things right now. We need to perfect form at our level. If I would have jumped, and I've done this a lot actually with the step-ups in particular, pushed too far. It's a joint dominant movement, and I pushed too far too quickly, and then I got hurt. You need to perfect your form at whatever level you are. Do not ego lift, and that's going to lead to the best gains over time. I don't know if you can see it, but my chicken's come to join me. You want to do some Nordics, mate? Oh, he's gone. But yeah, let's get into this. Probably going to do some weighted ones today. See if we can hit 10 kilos on the weighted Nordics, maybe decline, we'll see what happens. But like, even now, like I don't, like, although I said I can do the concentric only for the warm up, I still warm up with just eccentric, see how it feels, make sure my hamstrings are feeling all good, make sure there's nothing niggly at the back of the knee. If there is anything niggly, I'll do a couch stretch and then an elephant walk, open it up, so maybe even a slant calf, see how we're feeling. And then we'll go from there. Something super important about the L-sits is that it's not only just our hip flexor strength, our ab strength, but it's also how much we can depress our scapula. Like, it feels like it's even like you're pushing away from the floor. The more you can depress and get up, get that butt off of the ground, the easier it's gonna be. Compression strength as well. If you see my mentor Keegan coach, he's nuts. He can do like V-sits where you're like, I'm trying to get there, like do the rocking stuff, but we were in Mexico and he was doing he's like 40 something, right? And he was in a handstand for like a minute, done a handstand push up, and then he controlled all the way from a handstand position, legs down, through his legs into an L-sit, and I was just like, right, he's 40 years old and he can do this. Like, where am I going to be at 40 with that kind of mentorship? Insane. Smash from Nordics. No, I'll probably do the first set with weight, actually. Go 5 kg, then 10 kg, see how many I can get. And then after that, I'll do full, just however many reps. I think I got 25 reps straight on the Nordics in Montenegro when I was out there. But I had a little tweak at the back of the knee that I had to fix. Literally took me like 4 days, just flossing and stuff. So I couldn't do the Nordics straight away. I was doing Nordics like every day, I don't know. It's kind of retarded, but anyway. First we'll do 5, see how it feels. Yeah, good. Okay, sub at 3, not my max, probably could go 5 or 6, but I want to see if I can hit 10. I'm going to sign off by doing some couch. Final things are just going to be some couch and some pike stretch. Opening up the quads and the hamstrings to finish off the day. But yeah, that's kind of a full day of training in the mid to late recovery stages after knee injury. A little bit advanced with the plyos and the heavy split squats. Obviously you can regress everything to whatever level you are at. Principles stay the same. Just getting dirt on my knee now. Gonna have to wash these. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank God for this position. I'm so grateful to be able to speak to you guys, to be able to help people get out of their knee issues. Obviously I had chronic knee pain for 5-6 years, and the only thing that kind of worked was this. I went through 4 different physios. Obviously not all physios are bad. The ones I had in particular were pretty bad. But yeah, this is, obviously there's a lot of nuance that I can't say on Reels, but I try to put the best information I can. But if you want more of the detail, more of the nuance, this is where it's going to be. I'll be replying to all comments in the comment section. So if you have any questions whatsoever about anything that I've covered, make sure that you drop in the comments below. The one thing I will say is that make sure that you don't ego lift. This is a long journey. You need to fall in love with training. So perfect the form. Do it at a low pain level. don't push through anything that you can't handle. Don't try and get to somewhere that you can't get to too soon. It's a long game, and if you've had any injury, you're in it for life. So you're gonna have to fall in love with training. You're gonna have to learn the principles behind training. That's the most important thing, being educated and understanding how your body works. This is, if you want longevity, that's how it's gonna have to be. You have to do this for life and fall in love with it. I love it. I can't go a day without training. I've genuinely fallen in love with it. And I've fallen in love with being able to help you guys and posting reels, posting content, talking to you guys. So if you need anything, shoot me a message on Instagram. And if you want personalised one-on-one coaching with me, we intake 10 people every single month. We've seen some insane results from people. You can see the results all over my Instagram and posting the weekly wins. But you can apply down in the comment section, and obviously there's a lot of demand. I have 40,000 followers and 10 spaces a month. So they go pretty quickly. So if you do want to make sure that you do have a place, click the link down below, get in as much detail as you can as possible, even shoot me a message on Instagram saying, look, I want to be in the next intake, and we can get you in there and we can get your knee fixed up. So yeah, I really appreciate it if you've made it this far. Appreciate you following the journey. It's only going to get bigger and better, and I hope that this can give some kind of nuance rather than just like the 60-second reels. So yeah, really appreciate you. Praise the Lord.